Welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. I think that's a very, very telling opening. And the reason I say that is because as far as we're going to go in crypto, it's what we put into it. So I can't make anybody do one thing, but I also need you all to help shape my opinion as well. So I help you just as much as you help me, make no mistake about it. Kyle Kupiak, Cape Cod Kyle, did you see not only Boston won, congratulations on that, as I know you're a Boston Celtics fan being in Massachusetts, but it's a miracle, Cape Cod Kyle. Your 3-month badge is showing up, the emoji badge of the XP Meteor. Mike, welcome in. Sean Crothers, good evening. My main man from Maine, welcome in. Also, my JW, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Ridiculous. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. I greatly appreciate that. Wow. Right when I start, there's a donation. That's incredibly generous. And this is a very, very inspirational live that we will have here. Mario Louise Willamese, welcome in. I love that name. Moza here, welcome in, buddy. I'm glad to see you still here in Tom's Army for over 6 months now with the XP Predictor. I remember like it was yesterday when you first joined the Army. Messi, welcome in. Mark Haston in UK. Phil, good evening. And thank you both for being in the Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. Alan, welcome in. Tanya, welcome in, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. You'll be very happy when we get to HBAR. Very happy. I think HBAR is starting to work on something here. A little bit of something. Trading with J-Ride, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP589 Moon badge. The good thing is, J-Rod, the 3-year badge is out now, the XP Diamond Hand, so you'll soon be there. Jorge, Marvin, welcome in. True, good evening and welcome in. We can always use some of your philosophy when it comes to the charts, especially in these times. I hope you haven't gone insane with your recent endeavors, or your time of trial, I suppose you could say. Allison, welcome in, love, I appreciate seeing you in the audience. John Hall, good evening. Hope you're having a blessed one, my friend. But we'll get into the intro. The key things I want to talk about here is the emergence with today's drop, which is ironic, but with today's drop, Tanya says, I will send you money, but I keep buying them. You don't need to send me money. You are in Tom's Army. You're in Tom's Army, so you may have forgotten about it by now, but you still, you know, by being in Tom's Army, that's $9.99 a month, or maybe even more depending on where you live. So, you know, your generosity holds no bounds. But I would encourage you to keep buying. And then, you know, if the day comes when you have that top heavy sale and you're like, you know what, yada yada yada, well then you can. But we should be very happy today. XRP in the weekly time frame, we have an emergence of the long. All right, we have a weekly doji. That's all I'm gonna say, and we'll get into it a little bit here. Lee, welcome in, and thanks for tuning in from the UK. Alice Pond, good evening. Good to see you in here as always, my friend, from Bonnie, Scotland. Corey, welcome in. Says, hey, Tom, let's go. Love seeing it. The Gap Man, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP589 Moon badge. Says, Corey is down to 8.6 cents now. Now it's getting back to the levels before I had bought and sold. See, I like seeing that. When it gets down, there's a few of them that are in some very interesting ranges. Look at DGB down there at 00779. But XRP, yes, we'll talk about the emergence on the weekly of the Doji. And then to even back up what we're saying. What the hell is it? I don't want this. To back up what we're saying. And it was weird. I was looking at ChatGPT because I seen that they partnered with, what was it, Google or something? No, Apple. So it sent me a thing and it changed the whole thing. So now I'm not even sure what is going on anymore. But anyhow, we're going to read through this. Where did this go? Well, let me go back into my history. Because I just had it pulled up. I'm not sure where it went. Right here. So we're going to read this one. As XRP hits a key support level. And the richest of whales, I noticed, 1 billion and more. 1 billion or more tokens are buying more or accumulating more. So that would be of the richest holders. But the weekly chart that shows the Doji candlestick, I'm not only going to show you it, I'm going to show you it from another perspective as well. That's not just me saying what I'm saying. And this is a very long read, and there's a lot of good information here. But it goes into everything I want to talk about on this live. And then we can always go over some news and notes that ends up showing up here on, oh, a jumping spider. Where are you going to put it? But we're going to go over it, and we'll see very clearly here. But I got to do the intro here just so we can timestamp this. But very quickly before I go into it, we can very clearly see the weekly emergence here. That's a Doji candle right there. That is a reversal. In this case, it's a bullish reversal. So I think we're about to, I think something's about to break here soon. And we'll go into this a little bit deeper, but I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Yes, Mike. Hey, there goes the jumping spider across my screen. Hey, it just jumped on my phone.
They're so cute.
They are cute. Oh, I have a jumping spider on my tablet, which is nice to see. He's climbing through. He was enjoying the show. But yeah, the weekly Doji, it signifies this is a possible bullish reversal here being signaled in real time. In real time being signaled. And where we're at with the RSI, it's in an area where we can definitely break bullish here. So that pull down today was not as bad as everybody would think. It's within a range right now, and I can further show you that tiny setup that we're in for the longer term, that where we would have bounced off of that weekly support here. We would have bounced off, and you'll be able to see it in the other chart that I'm going to show you based on what we're reading, and you'll be able to see, and just not to show you anything that you haven't seen before, but this is how it's set up here. And this sets it up in a multi-year formation where you end up using the third or fourth support structure here, or resistance, on the back end, so it lines up with that if you play it through. But that's the update, and now the uptrend is where it's important. The uptrend, they're saying the Doji is bouncing off of their ascending formation. So it's gonna, or the ascending support. So we'll read into a lot of this. I think this is gonna be a very interesting read as we get through this. So with that being said, good evening. 6:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, how many of you understand what a weekly Doji the weekly Doji that formed here? How many of you are aware that this happened? Just out of curiosity. I'm just curious. Yeah, Uphold is delisting USDT. I heard Uphold is delisting United States Digital Tether. So, that's definitely true. Yes, please hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. I think this is a very, very important live. And I know some will see it and they'll be like, oh, look at that. There's another FUDster saying a 50% move with XRP when it looks like shit. Well, I don't often put down that it has a possibility of a 50% price boom. I don't put that very often. But something's going on here. Something is going on here, and this weekly emergence, or the weekly time frame, I think something's going on here. And yes, Uphold does have a very personal relationship, and they're very open about it with Ripple. So what is the odds here that they delisted USDT, kept USDC to satisfy USA users for their deposit and withdrawals, but they're going to use the RLUSD in place of USDT. I think we're going to have so much traction that comes through Ripple, or the XRP ledger, because of this stablecoin and the real world assets, the RWAs coming to Ripple in the form of gold and silver being tokenized. I think it's a game changer. I think it's a game changer. Allison says, I always hit like before I even watch the videos. Good job, Tim. Thank you, Allison, so much for that. It is so vital. It is so vital. You know, for some of you who have been here for a while, I talked about last year in July how I wasn't cutting my hair until we had $1 to prove a point. About how long we would have to accumulate. Does this prove the point? In my 40 years, my hair has never been this long. Granted, I understand that at 40 years old, I am blessed to be able to grow hair like this beyond belief. So I am not complaining. I'm just saying, It's pretty awesome, I think. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to cut it, to be honest with you. I'm getting so old now that I'm afraid it may never grow back. My dad's hair is not where it should be. My brother, old Vincenzo's hair is, starting to recede like my old man's. But, it's a combination of things, but I'm blessed with that aspect. So anyhow, it just proves how long we've had so far. How far we've had. Bye, Michaela. Bye, Scarlett. Drive safe, Julie. V says I sold my sold XRP, believing it that deeply. Well, I won't say I sold my sold XRP because I would never sell my soul to anybody. It's a very distinctive part of you, especially you don't want to upset the man upstairs, our Lord and Savior. So, but as far as my connection with XRP, I believe I was brought to XRP for a reason. I believe all of you were brought to me for a reason. I believe that we don't cut corners for a reason here. I firmly do. I believe that we do, and for all intents and purposes now, because we have the data point, that's our next hit that you can line it up with. It's so obvious now. But we were brought here for a reason. We're not looking to cut corners here in this community. I'm looking to give you the truth. I'm looking to tell you what's actually going on in real time. And yes, it takes some time, if you're watching me, if there's anybody new in the audience, to distinguish between these short-term charts that I show every day in my opening technical analysis in the morning, or what we do at night here. We'll show the short-term, but we also show the long-term prospects. So it's pretty damn interesting what's going on here, and it's pretty damn interesting how many people have not just bailed, but the ones who have stuck around during it all, because it's been a pain in the you-know-what at times. For some, not for me. I actually enjoy, see, like I always tell everybody, I enjoy the accumulation more than the rally itself. Let me say that again. I appreciate the accumulation more than the rally itself, because then I don't know what to do anymore. Because once it starts rallying out of control, then I don't know. So, I appreciate the long prospects when you get into an accumulation phase and you get into the right formation. That's what I appreciate. Not everybody appreciates that. Some like the thrill of the short-term move. Like I appreciated how on XRP-Bitcoin pairing, over time, from around 730, and then we picked up the intensity the closer it got to under 700 sat level. But over time, all the way down to it was around 658 sat level, we were able to buy in around, well, I was, if you bought, I don't know what level some bought in, but the weekly is flipping bullish here. I was able to buy in $5,000, and I'm up right now some, nothing major, but it is up some here. Actually, it fluctuates, because if XRP's price is higher, you have a better ratio on just on the surface of XRP's price is higher. So when it all goes back to normal, you get a better outcome. So when you're watching on MEXC, if I've had the question, well, Tom, on MEXC, why doesn't it show me the XRP-Bitcoin pairing? It does, but it shows you at an XRP value unless you go to sell it in the XRP-Bitcoin pairing. You don't get that option if you only buy XRP. So, and we'll get back into XRP, but I want to show why investor confidence is becoming a little bit stronger here for XRP. But I always like to be transparent on my position. So, when it came down a little bit, it's so hard for me to pinpoint exactly how much I have. At one time, I thought I had like 5,200. At one time, then I thought I had 4,800 because the price of XRP is bouncing around. But it's like $4,950 or $5,000 is my, right now it's telling me my investment's $4,950. And I'm up about $105. Nothing major, a couple percent. But it's so hard to judge. Now, you can either sell it out in XRP if you buy it in the XRP-Bitcoin pairing, because I'm betting on the fact that XRP is severely undervalued against Bitcoin, and this is relevant right now. And I've put almost about $5,000 into this pair. And it's not because I'm expecting it to go down. If we look in the weekly time frame, now all of a sudden here, it looks to be flipping a little bullish here. Dwan said, you are like the Indiana Jones of XRP, deciphering and decoding for us. Much appreciated. I love that. I love that. Well, I love that you said that because and it made me laugh. And some people are like, well, you know, some people can't take it when somebody criticizes them in a weird way. But somebody commented and they said, this is my first time watching you. And that's 20 minutes of your life I'll never get back. I hate it to break it to you, sir, but you can never cut it in this industry. And I started laughing, and it actually made me laugh because you need the criticism just as much as you need the praise. So you understand where you set the goals at. You know, you got to understand where you lie. But I found it interesting because not only have we been here, but it's been over 3 years. And the following of over 22,000 is just, that's proof that something is going right. And then the fact that our accumulation, it was funny. And then you see, you know, just somebody making such a positive comment. So we have a choice every day, make positive or negative comments, make positive or negative influences. That person could have just very easily gave me a dislike and not, you know, tried to bring down, you know, the morale of Tom's or XRP Future Millionaire. 3 years ago, that would have probably brought me down. Today, it actually made me burst out laughing for some reason. It was comical to me at best for some reason. Chris says, Tom is the boss. I linked your profile to I got to read the rest of that. Profile to a few friends that are watching you too and said that the channel is good. I appreciate that. Yes, EOC, you do need some testicular fortitude to travel through these times for sure. And to make some of these moves. But anyhow, with the XRP Bitcoin pairing, and this is why investor confidence is ringing a little higher. And we don't need these short-term moves anymore. We came up and satisfied that move. But that looks like an inverted hammer, a pretty nice inverted hammer here in the weekly. But investor confidence for XRP is going up because the XRP Bitcoin ratio is so out of whack. You have to think about that from an investor's perspective. True says, Tom, feel free to... I got to finish reading that. It just cut off. But... when the ratio is so out of whack, investors take the opportunity, and you'll hear me say, I have roughly 10,300 additional XRP. That's because it'll show me on MEXC how much it can convert into an XRP in the value. That's what it shows you until you switch it to the XRP Bitcoin pairing. That means on top of my 12,000, I've added that much in addition. So in a suave way of being able to accumulate, that's something that I like. Something that I like to do. And that's why BITUNIX as well, when it comes to USDT or USDC, you have to be on an exchange, unlike KuCoin or some of the other ones. For whatever reason that just stay with USDT, it makes no damn sense. You have to be on an exchange that has United States digital currency. I'm just telling you, if something hits the fan with USDT, and maybe Uphold, it's just as simple as they're delisting USDT on, I think it's July something. I can't remember what the date was. But maybe that's just as simple as they're just switching over to RLUSD, and that's going to be their stable coin as well. And that's the Ripple stable coin because they have a big partnership with Ripple. It's apparent. But we don't know. That's what it seems like possibly, Chill, July 1st. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you very much. EOC, yes. It seems like the swamp is being drained. And you know what? The weak hands are being flushed. They really, really are. And like we've seen, this is the 4th instance now when it tops like this. And I have mine inverted. So it's not overbought right now. It's actually oversold on the weekly time frame. I just have mine inverted. So the first time was way back. You had a second. Why isn't it working? My circle's not working. There we go. And now you have a 4th time right there where it's topping. Once this happens, we've had historical rallies here every time it's topped. Bound, boom. Down, boom. And again, down, back up, not as far, and then it consolidated down. You even had a little top here that rallied. Where was it at? Somewhere back here, and then it rallied up. But now we're back within here. Now you've got another top formed. We legitimately are having another top formed. Look at this consolidation. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. Support. On the expandable zone, though, this isn't even the true support. We're in the expansion zone. If we get a reversal here, and why it's important is if XRP's increasing on the XRP Bitcoin pairing, if that's appreciating towards Bitcoin, there's a very real chance that XRP's having an extraordinary price breakout. Is that not setting up, like we speculated before, now it's starting to show its true nature? Is that not setting up a possible big W reversal? Oh, and real quick, I meant to do this in the beginning, so we'll get back to this. But I meant to do this in the beginning. Somebody I know, haven't spoke to in a while, but it's come to my attention that they lost their mom. So my condolences out in the abyss if for whatever reason you are watching this, because I know my content would come across your space in some way, some form. This shot is for your mom. I want to do a salute for the safe passing, the safe crossing, and into the promised land of the Lord. So amen, because that's a tough situation. So salute, old friend. "67 years old. Thank you, everybody. It hits me hard because my dad is, right now, he's about that age. And earlier this year, I lost my Auntie Ann, who I miss dearly. She was my connection, like my true biblical connection to God. And I know she's watching down on us, but she was the one I could call for anything when it came to the Lord. So she was only 60, either, I think 66 or 67. I can't remember. So, yeah. So, you know, it's the part of life. It's the worst part of life. So I appreciate everybody who sat through for just a minute. But let's get back on track here. 49.04 cents for XRP. Although it's down 2.83%, I'm trying to show you the reasons why you don't take these times lightly with XRP. Something deeper is going on. Something deeper. Like we've been talking about, that Ripple stablecoin is going to bring in a lot of liquidity into the ecosystem for the ledger. The RWAs that are coming onto the XRP ledger around the same time, around end of Q3, Q4, that's also going to bring a monstrous, astronomical amount of liquidity to the ledger. I am fully embracing this accumulation phase, and to the point to where now, I didn't think I'd have this chance, but look at how we had these drops, folks. 40 cents there. You can't make that up in April. You can't make up these drops of 44 in June. I mean, that's just in recent history, it was at 44. So even if you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm buying it at 45. I'm just buying it here. I'm buying my $10,000 worth, or my 10,000 tokens, and I'm buying $4,500 worth. Even at 49 cents where it's at roughly, you're up about 10%, which is about 450 bucks. So right now, even you could be like, you know what? I'm on BITUNIX. It only charges me about $1.50 to sell this whole 4,500, or plus my profits. Maybe this isn't right for me. You can always do that, but for me, when I'm looking at a weekly Doji right there, it means something to me. And please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. MC Prosperity, there is a boatload of FUD. And it's the entirety of the reason, besides historical data, of why I started this channel. And yes, it is a struggle being a YouTuber or an influencer that talks about XRP these days. It's a miracle that where we're at right now as a community. It's a miracle, but I believe it starts with the positivity and to believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in some way and form. You don't even have to be a believer, but if you believe in the positivity over negativity approach, believe that you are not a victim, you are a winner. Victims don't have a chance because they're being held down in a way that they can't get out of, and that's a victim. You're not a victim if you can actually study, and not just from a charting perspective when it comes to crypto and XRP in this case, but from a news perspective. Even though you have to decipher all the BS, the scams, the nonsense. Look at the RLUSD coin. Somebody in the live yesterday talked about it, and I said, I'm not so sure about that because I haven't heard anything. And from my knowledge, it's not until the end of Q3, possibly. And then it turned out to be a fake story. And I told everybody, be careful with that because that doesn't sound right. I'm not going to pass all the nonsense on to you. I went through a lifetime of trial and error so that we could do this right. And I know in my heart, if we hold on long enough and we do this the right way and not buying in bear markets, I mean, not buying in bull markets, but buying in bear markets. Don't sell the bottom, buy the bottom. Don't buy the top, sell the top. It sounds so easy, but from a mental standpoint and from a psychological standpoint, it's so much harder than it sounds. Your common mindset would be, oh my God, I'm missing out, it's railing, I better buy in now when it's up at the top. But your mindset's gonna say, why the hell would I buy in if this asset continues to be down month over month or week over week or year over, it's that mindset. It really, really is. It really, really is. You know what gets me excited these days? One, the fact that B2 Gold, I know I have a dividend payment on June 24th. And I've got a hefty amount of shares. At the time of dividend payouts, I believe I had over 2,900 tokens. It had a dip down to about $2.52 roughly. I bought more. I have like 3,400 shares now. I'm so excited about that token. The dividend's over 6%. And it's a mining stock that does gold, but it's got its richest output of silver ever. A new mine that it opened or started to mine recently in the last year or so, a couple years. It ended up being the richest mine. It's more rich in silver than gold. And in the time we're turning into with the industrial metal like silver, holy shmogolis. Until it happens for you, and then it becomes almost a habit to buy the right. It sure does, true. It sure does become a habit. It sure does. And I always tell everybody, I've done absolutely phenomenal when it comes to assets with gold and silver and things like that. I am the cash poorest person you will ever meet. When you see me in an everyday life, you'd be like, wow, this guy's broke as a joke. And it's because, it's true though. It's because I put my stuff in things I believe in instead of sitting in the bank where it depreciates year over year. I'd rather have my money saved away in gold. So would you rather have a $65,000, $70,000 savings? And this is for your own personal interpretation. Or would you rather have 60 or 70,000 in value, but it's appreciated from where you bought it? So, you haven't put 60 or 70,000 in totality. You might have put 45 or 50 and it's appreciated to that amount, let's just say. So instead of just keeping 40 or 50 in the bank, now you've got the appreciation through your gold and silver holdings. And remember, nobody's ever paid you money. You've only been paid a note of debt. You've been given the promise of debt. That this debt will be renewed at a later time of purchasing goods, basically. So by getting currency, and this is a life lesson for everybody. I do crypto, but there are so many things a lot of people don't even realize. And I did a silver stacking video series. And go look at the prices of gold and silver when I was doing that, when I was showing people to buy silver and gold. If you look at the right videos, some of it fell under 20 for silver. And that was after we had done it for over a year. And then it came up and then it started dropping. And I'm like, we got to do something here for some of the people who haven't bought. And then I started buying more. This is my biggest lesson to everybody. If you hold currency and nothing else, you hold a note of debt. It's a promise to pay you later in some kind of goods. That $1 million in the bank is just a note of debt. That's all it is. If you have $1 million in gold right now, you've got some real fucking money and firepower. And you can take that gold bar anywhere. Any pawn shop, any reputable dealer. Hell, some banks you can actually deal with as well. But you will always get that spot price, even in a pawn shop, is my point. I can take an ounce of gold to a pawn shop and they will give me $2,329 right now. Now, I might have paid, if I bought it today, $2,500 with premium because it's so high. I know it's not still $60, $50 premiums from where I was buying it because it got up to 80 by the end. It's got to be way over that now. But even on 80 bucks, maybe you spent $2,410 and you're going to get $2,329. Most people are like, well, this bullshit. What about my surcharge? What about, I have to pay over spot price. That's how the dealer makes money, remember that. But you will always get spot price. So just remember, diversify into precious metals. Yes, it's not the same as when I was telling everybody at 16, 1700, and silver anywhere from 16 to 23, 24 when I stopped advocating as much. But it's at 29.50. You just seen it at around 32.5. It's still money. It's money. Yes, HBAR. I'll go to that real quick before I lose my mind here today. Because I'm very excited. Because when I see red, when is Tom most excited? When he sees that red. Whoops, sorry. When he sees red, I get excited. I get excited. So Tanya, and please everybody hit that like button. About 31% of you who are viewing have not hit that like button. And if you do appreciate my time that I put in here, consider joining Tom's Army. I would love to see new members of Tom's Army supporting that month 1 badge of me being abducted by aliens. All the way through the 3-year badge, as some are very, very close, as Jessica's here now who says, yes, diversify, yes, love, absolutely. And she's sporting the better than 2-year she's been in this audience, or part of Tom's Army. Along with Angela Love also, thank you both, proving my point. Over 2 years in Tom's Army with the XRP-589 Moon badge, they are going to be nearing that 3-year XRP Diamond Hands emoji badge. I can't wait for some of you to have that and start seeing that in the audience. So start the journey in Tom's Army with all of us. We've been here since 21 in March, and I've never missed a day. And you can see how true I am to all of you, because when my son was hospitalized for about 16 days in May, roughly, or he was in the hospital for the better part of 16 days, hospitalized for about 13 days in totality, I was still here for you, not in the lives, but every single day I did my update in the morning as if it was routine. And I still tried to put out an afternoon update, because I care with all of you. You and Crypto with Claws are my favorites. I appreciate that. I need to, what's that name again? Crypto with Claws. When somebody actually says something nice and they don't just say, well, this influencer says this and I believe them over you because of that. When somebody actually puts it like you did, I tend to, I look up who this person is. So I'm going to forever put that in my search. Crypto with Claws, 20,700 subscribers, a fellow person like me. I hit the subscribe button, and then if there's a reason why I need to unsubscribe, I would. But yeah, I appreciate somebody who is putting their passion into something. I do. I really do. Okay, so anyhow, we'll continue going on. We'll continue going on into this, because I think we have some value here this evening. So HBAR real quick, down 2.88% or 2.9% at 7.785. So HBAR is at 7.7 cents. I don't mind blockchain backer. Like I always tell everybody, I have nothing against blockchain backer. One of the few that you can actually get real technical analysis from. So if you're getting real technical analysis, sometimes you just got to look at the, like I always say with anybody though, you just have to look at some of the lofty expectations for what they are from some. But read between the lines and look at their day-to-day technical analysis. He's amongst the best when it comes to day-to-day technical analysis. And that's okay. So anyhow, okay. With HBAR, we're going into a spot here in the daily where we were just so massively oversold, and we're at a crossroad here. And I got to get rid of some of this stuff, Tanya. Because we have to have that underlying uptrend from the bottom. And we still have a lot to get through, everybody, with XRP. The journey is not complete today with XRP. So the destination within this day's show is going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. But with HBAR, the reason that I was excited about it is starting to look at HBAR from a short-term perspective. Not necessarily the longer played out. But it's getting to a point where it's either going to come all the way down here, Tanya, and it's going to just absolutely fail and come down to 5.4, or this reversal is just starting. I'll show you why. We had 2 exhaustion candles that I like to look for. And for anybody who knows what I'm talking about, exhaustion 1, exhaustion 2 can very well be the start of a support structure. And then maybe we bounce off of it this second time. This is the second time it's attempted to exhaust itself from the sellers. That's important. It's important. Hey, I'm okay with somebody ripping on bullshit. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. He's probably never heard of my channel. But, you know, there are some of us out here that are trying, that are doing it in a different way, so I can respect that. So, this is basically what it comes down to, Tanya, for HBAR. We either just found ourselves a bottom, finally through this exhaustion candle. Now we've got this V-shaped recovery possibly. And we wouldn't even know this unless we came up to 8.2 and tried to break out of here. But we're coming to a point now where we're back down within that range. Before all that BlackRock bullshit, we need to exhaust ourselves back out. We really did. Like, we got served such an injustice for HBAR, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. When that BlackRock nonsense got announced, when we were in the beautiful consolidation and the price action all of a sudden, and then it came back down. I mean, it created such a backwards trend right here when it came back up that now it's within this, it's descending in a very big way. So I'm excited for it, not just from a long term, as there's that, Tanya, but we're going to look at it from the shorter time frame here. Looking at it from about the daily time frame and in. So we'll look at this from the daily time frame in. Is he? Okay. MC Prosperity, thank you so much for the $10 donation. I greatly appreciate that. It says, great job, Tom. Great info as always. Thank you so much for that. You are definitely a superstar. Probably one of my most devoted ones who send YouTube super chats. Real talk. That's just me being honest. I'd say less than 1% of anybody who ever comes in here has ever sent a YouTube super chat. And even less than that has joined Tom's Army. But the ones who have stick around. And that means something to me. Means something to me. So with HBAR, this is what your range is looking like in totality. So the floor right now would be about 5.4 cents. The ceiling right now is around 12 cents. And I'm going to get rid of some of these smaller just targets here, because honestly, I think it doesn't do anybody any good right there. Now, this could be the start of an exhaustion phase for HBAR, but we also have to be understanding if it were to break through here, it could break down. But we were very oversold here. Daily, 4 hourly, 3 hourly, 2 hour. We found ourselves in a massively oversold predicament to where now it looks like, at least in the short term, unless we get rejected in the immediate at 784 or 785, we should be coming up here to this downtrending resistance. So for anybody who was buying this the drop here, even from here, we've still got about 7%. Now, what makes me very optimistic here is that we are becoming very undervalued here for HBAR, and it doesn't happen very often when we start to trend back towards the overall uptrend. And the closer we get here, Tanya, the more excited I get, because not 1, 2, 3, 4 times this acted as a catalyst for a rally, and some of them bigger than the others. But Catalyst 1, boom. Catalyst 2, boom. Catalyst 3, the biggest in totality. Now if it comes all the way back down, you've got Catalyst 4, assuming it doesn't break down. So that could happen. Another reason why I'm getting excited is because there is a possibility that this pattern, in a very weird way, if this is an exhaustion in the daily and it doesn't come lower, we could have established for ourselves the start of a longer term uptrend. And with how oversold it is in the daily, it is a real possibility, and something that would confirm this more than just the connection would be to break out of the short-term consolidation. And that is why I have that immediate short-term consolidation. If it breaks bullish out of that, there's a very real chance we've started a real uptrend. A very real uptrend here. So it's going to be interesting to watch for HBAR. So just pay attention to that, everybody, because there could be a real opportunity. And if it breaks below this and this doesn't pan out, that 5 point, and we'll go back to it. What is this? 7.2 cents. You're talking about 5.4 cents. So to me, HBAR doesn't pique the interest just by looking at it. But if you understand where we're heading down here and how we're starting to drastically flip into that oversold predicament, this is either going to bounce out of here in a big way, or we're going to come down to levels we haven't seen in a very long time, if ever. If ever. It's just that simple. So we're either going to have the crypto winner of all winners, or we're about to have an inflection move, and it's not just going to be XRP. I got to get into some reading here, though. I've talked for 40 minutes already. Holy crap. But 97 people have stuck around, 96. So I appreciate that. 93 likes. That is incredible. Incredible. XDC is one of interest that we were watching, saying yesterday how it was ready because it was so oversold, or so out of whack when it came to XRP. It came down to the 326 and it popped off all the way up to 381. But like XDC, it usually typically sells back down to support. It really, really does. So it was a nice move there, but we'll continue to watch XDC. I need to continue with XRP for today's update, but XDC very well could run into the daily time frame at 4.1, but it does seem to have hit some short-term resistance. Although, usually when you have an exhaustion candle, you do fill it up most of the way. So it came down. Now it should fill it up some of the way. We'll see how bullish or bearish this is, but that's never great when it comes down that far. But I'm very interested to see what happens in the market. Bitcoin, real quick, before we go into that reading. Tanya, I would love to say, yes, I bought back in. But, and I grappled with it earlier, I would have had to sell some out of my XRP-Bitcoin pairing, and I am not willing to do that at this time because I have stuff set up in a strategic way, and some of my crypto funds I allotted to put into B2 Gold for the dividend as it was coming up, and yeah, so like I said, I have it very strategically put, and then I have some put away that's in the XRP healthcare. So I'm not as cash friendly as I want to be right now because I have so much stuff tied up, but I do not have any HBAR. But if it comes down to 5.7 cents, well, that's going to change the old opinion of Tom. Down 1,315 bucks, or 1.98% to 65,189 for Bitcoin. Bitcoin in its own right was becoming rather oversold when it came into, well, it actually broke down a little bit from that yesterday. We had this on the 11th. It teased the oversold again, but now Bitcoin has a very real chance of pushing up here. There's a shot here. There's a reversal candle trying to play out, but it's not entirely certain. But at the end of this 4 hourly, it's not looking terrible. We're up at the top end of this, and that's where you want to be if you want to have a bullish reversal. So we're very well might have this reversal on here, a Doji candle here for Bitcoin, and it could stop it from having to come all the way down to 61,534 and back testing what I consider the pennant flag. And it's still very much within this inverse head and shoulders, and it could very well play out in a very bullish fashion. And first target would be 69,552, and then ultimately 77,952 would be the first area of resistance. Second would be 88,000. So there's a wide area here. And Bitcoin's looking pretty good on this 4 hourly candle. Now the daily's a little bit different because it was a little bearish to start the day. But it looks like a hammer candle. And yes, a lot of times the hammer candle's red because it's simply bearish for the Heikin-Ashi from when it started. Now, I would like, actually it's above that swing low right now, so that's interesting. If it closed right here, you would close above the swing low from yesterday though, so that's that's technically a hold. Interesting. We'll see with Bitcoin, because there's a chance that it could have been starting the start of a W reversal and then it starts in the middle. I do too, Allison. I believe HBAR is a powerhouse. And I had HBAR. We bought it at like 5.2 cents last year around this time in the FOMO Fridays. Over 10,000 tokens just over. Took us about 9 to 10 weeks as a community, over 50 bucks a week. But that turned into a couple 100% move, and I had to sell it. I had no choice. Got up to like 15 cents. I sold it, I think, at 13 and a half, 14, but it got way up there. And it wasn't even that I wanted to sell, it was just I seen what was coming. XRP to me is so different until it's not, because it hasn't made that big move of anything. Nothing. It's been like squadoosh. So anyhow, let's read this. I know a lot of you probably wanted to read through this with me, so let's read through this. And if you are looking to trade XRP, don't hesitate. Please look in the video description below. And I would say look in the pinned comments, but I have to share that right now. But there's BITUNIX, and if you're in the USA, you don't need to use a VPN for BITUNIX. They've never gone away from XRP, even during the trial, even during the lawsuit. They're one of very few that stuck around. But the difference between them and Uphold is the extraordinary fees. And I'm not sugarcoating it. The fees on Uphold are extraordinary. So if you want to buy and sell, I can't. I can't buy and sell on Uphold. And I'm not being a dick. I can't just swing trade because the fees are too much. It's too much. And I wish it wasn't. I do. But it is. So until it's not the case, my only resolution right now, and there's one other one that I am working on, but I have to see how the customer service is, and it's not satisfactory to what I want to hear yet, to where I'm willing to share it. So BITUNIX right now. It'll be in the video description below and or pinned comments in just a minute. It's the lowest spot and leverage trading fees in the USA, but you can trade around the world. That's the point. You can trade it around the world. You don't have to worry about it not being accepted. And the fees are minute. And I know there's a lot of people who have used it that can vouch for it. So just take advantage of that. And then if you're looking for the XRP Bitcoin pairing, there's MEXC in the video description below for anybody who's looking for that. Because right now, it's very hard to trade it in the USA. But I am working on that right now. I'm just going through to make sure that I trust what I'm seeing, and it's that simple. So it's in the video description below with BITUNIX. Take advantage of that, and don't pay the exorbitant fees. That saved my world. So when I want to swing trade, I can. So you're talking about $1.50 to $2 compared to on a $4,000 trade. That's going to cost you like $280 in totality. On high times of volatility, about 160 without it. So I mean, you're talking about significant fees here. So don't make the exchanges rich. And then MEXC's down there in the video description below if you're looking to buy Bitcoin or XRP Bitcoin pairing. To do that, you have to buy Bitcoin first, and then you buy into the XRP Bitcoin pairing. It gives you the option. It'll show you your holdings in XRP, but you can sell it out in XRP Bitcoin pairing for that value or the value of XRP's price. So that's the option you would have. Or you can switch it back into Bitcoin at a later date if it seems like it's the way to go, but you'd have to make that choice. So XRP price forecast. Key support levels and whale accumulation indicates 50% rally. So key points here. XRP's weekly chart shows a Doji candlestick pattern near a critical support level, indicating a potential 50% price rebound next. The richest XRP investors holding over 1 billion tokens have increased their holdings. There's only one reason for them to increase their holdings. They've already got enough money. They only look for times of opportunity where they feel like it's undervalued. And the fact that XRP is so oversold against Bitcoin and the pairing shows it, it's driving investor confidence like I talked about. So anticipation of a favorable outcome and Ripple's lawsuit against the SEC and XRP's oversold status against Bitcoin is driving investor confidence. XRP is one of the worst top-breaking cryptocurrencies in terms of price performance so far in 2024. Down about 20% year-to-date to 49 cents as of June 18th. However, the Ripple cryptocurrency is now reaching a key inflection point that could lead to a 50% price boom in the coming weeks or months. Let's discuss these ultra bullish. Like I just spilled my water all over me because I was trying to save it. Isn't that funny? I tried to save my water and then I spilt it all over me. So at least I'm not walking around. But let me grab my other chair so I am, not that it matters because I'm all wet anyhow. That's kind of funny. That is kind of funny. So XRP right now, I think it's a big opportunity. So let's read through this. So down about 20% year to date to the 49 cents as of June 18th. However, the Ripple cryptocurrency is now reaching a key inflection point that these ultra bullish catalysts reach an inflection point that could lead to a 50% price boom in the coming weeks or months. Let's discuss these ultra bullish catalysts in detail. So this is the most important in the weekly right now. XRP forms Doji near a critical support level. And this is the support level they speak of. So, for these unfamiliar with the term, a Doji candlestick is a unique pattern in technical analysis. It's characterized by a very small body where the asset's opening and closing prices are nearly equal, accompanied by long upper and lower shadows, or wicks. This pattern suggests a standoff between buyers and sellers, indicating a potential reversal in the current trend. In addition, a Doji can signal a potential reversal in the current trend, especially when it appears after a prolonged uptrend or downtrend, and it suggests that the current trend might be losing momentum and that a change in direction could be imminent. Interestingly, the XRP price is forming a Doji candlestick on its weekly chart after witnessing a 37% correction from its 2024 high of around 75 cents. This indecisiveness amongst traders after a strong correction indicates a potential rebound ahead. And this is what they're talking about right here. And it's actually made it more profound with the drop today, which is actually unbelievable. So the Doji oriented bullish reversal outlook receives further help from XRP's multi-year ascending trendline support, which is part of a giant symmetrical triangle conjunction with a multi-year descending trendline resistance. As of June 18th, XRP's price was testing the ascending trendline for a potential rebound toward the descending trendline resistance. Akin to its previous bounce backs, should XRP price rebound, and you can see the logical pushback to resistance, if it does hold this correction phase, it's looking at about them, even on their interpretations, it's about a 25-cent move approximately from here. Should XRP price rebound from the triangle's lower trend line, it will likely reach 75 cents by the year's end, up around 50% from the current price levels. XRP's richest whales return to accumulation, which also points to a further appreciation in XRP's price. At least that's what it would speak to me. XRP's bullish outlook improves further with the recent whale activity, namely the increase in the cryptocurrency supply among its richest addresses. Entities with more than 1 billion XRP tokens. As of July 1st or June 18th, the 1 billion plus XRP balance cohort, Black, controls 41.3% of XRP's total circulating supply, up from their session low of 39.56% 3 months ago. In contrast, the holdings of 100 to 1 billion XRP balance cohorts have decreased from 18 to 15.41% over the same period. And you can see it right here. The shift suggests that mid-sized XRP investors either sold their holdings to those in the billion plus XRP cohort or have accumulated XRP to join this larger balance group. Either way, it shows that the richest XRP whales have accumulated tokens during 2024's price dip, indicating they are long-term bullish on the Ripple crypto market. So, I mean, where do you want to put your money? Where the richest of rich are investing in a project that looks deader than doornails to the outside viewer? Or do they know something here? Is there some kind of catalyst that could be coming up, or multiple catalysts? In XRP's case, we have a trifecta of catalysts that are coming. The resolution, one way or the other, which will gain clarity one way or the other in the Ripple lawsuit. We've got the Ripple stablecoin coming to the ledger. We've got real-world assets already verified coming to the ledger in gold and silver. And yes, you can take delivery of that gold and silver via the ledger. So, a lot of catalysts, and I'm not even talking about some of the projects they've acquired, some of the new adoption that's happening, some of the new institutions that are pegging on with Ripple. Dirty welcome in. I missed the last part. I was going to say Dirty Dozen, but that is definitely not true because I've seen you in a bunch of times. So 2 key reasons explained. Oh, maybe it was Dirty Dozens. Dirty Dozens. That's what it was. It didn't sound right when I was trying to say it. I am not verified on BITUNIX. No, sir. All I do is I send my money if I need to get it off. I still can take it through Uphold. As of right now, we're cracking. But I have not done anything to verify on BITUNIX at all. Nothing. Not a zilch. I am unverified. I will try, Priz, to check Quant. Let me get through this reading as I'm already Oh my God, 54 minutes into this live, and I got to do a feeding for my son soon. How's he doing? Oh, okay. Because I got mine all wet, I spilt my water all over me. Yes, right over the testicular fortitude. Why are XRP whales accumulating, though? Two key reasons explain why XRP whales have increased their holdings since March. First, it is in the anticipation that Ripple's ongoing legal lawsuit against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will conclude in the coming months, as FX Empire covered here. The aftermath of the potential SEC versus Ripple lawsuit settlement could be the SEC's clearance to a spot XRP exchange-traded fund ETF in the U.S., according to Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Second, XRP has reached its most oversold levels against Bitcoin on weekly time frames, indicating that the market anticipates capital rotation from Bitcoin to XRP markets in the coming weeks or months. That is what I'm banking on. XRP, or for instance, XRP slash Bitcoin's weekly relative strength index, RSI, is trading below 30, an oversold area that could trigger a rebound period next. That is akin to what happened in April-September 2019 session, which led to a 50% plus XRP price rebound as shown below. These are all reasons why we should really be paying attention. You know, opportunities only come around so often, right? Don't we say this? Opportunities only come around so many times. So many times. What about these opportunities? What about what we're seeing right now? Let's look through some of these source charts. So we were on the fourth source chart. So let's look at this. Look at these levels. It's so painfully low, and it actually went down to 658 or whatever it was. But the last time it went to these levels, and I've been talking about this, we had a monumental breakout. So let's see what happens here. But there is definitely a lot of opportunity that is out here. I'm not just saying that to hear myself talk. I don't say it because I want to hear myself. So an oversold bounce in the XRP Bitcoin market this year could push the pair toward 0.00001156 Bitcoin. I call it the SAT level. So the 1156 SAT level. A level coinciding with the 50-week exponential moving average, 50-day exponential moving average, the red wave, and the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement level. This capital rotation sentiment from the Bitcoin market is further visible in CoinShares' latest weekly report on crypto fund net flows. So if you are a fan of my work and you watch the updates in the morning religiously, but you're never in the lives and you're watching this after, come to the lives. I share real data. I don't share what I want to happen. We make a decision based on real data. And look at all the different things I've shared with you this evening as we conclude this. Now let's look at flows by asset in the millions by US. Bitcoin was down 621, down 1,353 month to date, and year to date, or up 1,356, but the weekly inflow was down 621. For Ethereum, it was up 13.1. XRP was up 1.1 on the year 2.2. But you can see Bitcoin's flowing red. Bitcoin's flowing a little red here, so we'll see where that money finds its way. For instance, the Bitcoin-based investment fund witnessed over 621 million worth of outflows in the week ending June 15th. In comparisons, altcoins outperformed, with Ethereum funds attracting 13.1 million and XRP funds attracting 1.1 million. So that is a lot of information, a lot of charts to take in, but I really hope that during this live I've been able to bring you some kind of value here. Before I leave real quick, I want to look at Quant from one of my friends in the audience that's been around for a while, so I like to, you know. So we'll look at it from Binance. I was going to say, I assume Binance is where we were. Yeah, so this was the old chart. So it broke down, and look how long it's been since we looked at this. So the technical target on a breakdown, although, how are we looking at this? I guess we were looking at it from a pretty nice area. And when we targeted, it wasn't that far off from where it broke down either, which is interesting. So yeah, $45 is possible. The fact it broke this down, that was very real on a breakdown. Let's see. We might not come all the way down there, though. I'll be honest. Daily's found itself into a rather oversold predicament. 4 hour is looking oversold. 3 hourly's coming back out of oversold into a bullish. 2 hourly push bullish here short term. See, but now we're going to fade or we're going to rise here. But the technical move down out of here would be around 45 bucks. And for anybody who remembers when I kept saying I didn't buy, it was too overpriced when it was at 130, 150. Especially years ago when it was way up here in 21. But even this year I said it's too overpriced when it was at 150. I said it many times. And everybody said, where would you start looking? I said 45. That might still be too high, but that's where I said I'd first start looking. So I'm glad I stuck to that decision. But the weekly's getting way up there too, guys. Daily's oversold, so at some point, that's going to find its way out as well. So I would love to talk more, but I got to go. I got to do my son's feeding. It's his 3rd one of the night. So have a blessed evening, everyone. And I hope that our audience in Tom's Army grows. I hope more of you join Tom's Army, pay it forward, and help expand. The more people we have in Tom's Army, the greater influence and impact we make on newer people that come in here. When they see so many emoji badges, like, what the hell is going on in here? I see far more people without emoji badges than with them these days. But that's okay, I promise. In the end, more than you that even think possible will be in Tom's Army because of what's going to end up happening. We can only stay diligent, we can only stay on top of it, and we can only stay, very diligent to what we do. Have a blessed evening, everybody. I'm being signaled by Julie.